Nervous system for Semester 4 Medical Faculty. Nervous system. The nervous system is the system that regulates, coordinates, and integrates the activities of the body by sending electrical signals through nerve networks. This system enables the body to respond to stimuli, maintain homeostasis, and facilitate communication between body cells. The nervous system is divided into two main parts: the central nervous system, CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS. A. Central nervous system, CNS. The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. The CNS is responsible for processing information received from the body and sending instructions to generate appropriate responses. Brain, cerebrum. The brain is the body's main control center located within the skull. The human brain has four main parts: the cerebral cortex, midbrain, mesencephalon, hindbrain, and cerebellum. Functions and structure. Cerebral cortex. The outer layer of the brain involved in high-level functions such as awareness, sensation, thinking, memory, and decision-making. The cerebral cortex is divided into four lobes: frontal lobe, planning, motor control, decision-making; parietal lobe, touch sensation and spatial perception; temporal lobe, sound processing; memory; and occipital lobe, visual processing. Basal ganglia. A group of brain structures in the cerebral cortex involved in controlling fine motor movements and coordinating movement. Cerebellum. Located beneath the cerebrum and responsible for motor coordination, body balance, and posture regulation. Hypothalamus. A part of the brain that regulates the endocrine system and homeostasis, including body temperature, hunger, thirst, and sleep. Pituitary gland. A small gland located beneath the hypothalamus that controls various endocrine glands by producing hormones such as growth hormone, GH, prolactin, and thyroid-stimulating hormone, TSH. Spinal cord. The spinal cord is the neural pathway connecting the brain to the rest of the body. It functions as the primary route for transmitting nerve impulses between the brain and the body. Additionally, the spinal cord is responsible for spinal reflexes, which regulate body responses to stimuli without involving the brain. Structure and function. Consists of gray matter, nerve cell bodies, and white matter, nerve fibers that transmit signals. The spinal cord is divided into 31 segments, each controlling specific bodily functions. The primary function of the spinal cord is to send motor nerve impulses from the brain to muscles and send sensory information from the body to the brain. B. Peripheral Nervous System, PNS. The peripheral nervous system consists of nerves located outside the brain and spinal cord. This system connects the CNS with other parts of the body. The PNS is divided into two main components: the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. Somatic nervous system function controls voluntary body activities, including skeletal muscle movements and the transmission of sensory information from the body to the brain. Components: sensory nerves receive stimuli from outside the body, such as touch, temperature, pain, and send the information to the brain. Motor nerves transmit impulses from the brain to skeletal muscles to produce movement. Autonomic nervous system, ANS. The autonomic nervous system regulates involuntary or automatic body functions, such as heart rate, breathing, digestion, and blood pressure. The ANS is divided into two parts: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, responsible for responding to stress situations or the fight or flight response. It increases heart rate, dilates airways, and raises blood pressure to prepare the body for stress. Parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for returning the body to a normal state after a stress response. It slows the heart rate, enhances digestion, and lowers blood pressure. Cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves, nerves that directly emerge from the brain and control functions such as vision, smell, and facial muscle movements. Spinal nerves, nerves that emerge from the spinal cord and connect the body to the CNS. See structure of nerve cells. Nerve cells or neurons are the basic units in the nervous system responsible for transmitting and receiving electrical impulses. The basic structure of a neuron includes dendrites, nerve fibers that receive signals from other neurons or stimuli from the environment. Soma, cell body, the part of the cell that contains the nucleus and is responsible for processing information. Axon, a long nerve fiber that transmits electrical impulses from the soma to the axon terminal. Axon terminal, the end of the axon that sends signals to other neurons or target cells, e.g. muscles or glands. Myelin, a fatty layer that covers some axons and speeds up the transmission of electrical impulses. D. Nerve impulse transmission process. Nerve impulse transmission occurs through action potentials, which are electrical voltage changes on the neuron membrane that allow information transmission. Depolarization. When a neuron receives a stimulus, sodium channels open, causing sodium ions, Na, to enter the cell, changing its electrical potential to positive. Repolarization. After depolarization, potassium channels open, allowing potassium ions, K, to exit the cell, returning the membrane potential to negative. Refractory period. After the action potential, the neuron enters a period during which it cannot transmit another impulse, preventing backward impulse movement. Synapse. the meeting point between two neurons or between a neuron and a target cell. At the synapse, the electrical impulse is converted to a chemical impulse through neurotransmitter release. Functions and responses of the nervous system. The nervous system plays a role in various vital body functions. Sensation. The nervous system receives stimuli from the external environment, such as temperature, light, touch, and sends the information to the brain for processing. Movement coordination and regulation. The nervous system controls body muscles to perform coordinated movements. Both voluntary movements, e.g., walking, and reflex movements, e.g., pulling the hand away from a hot object. Homeostasis regulation. The nervous system works with the endocrine system to maintain body balance, such as regulating body temperature, blood pressure, and oxygen levels in the blood. Cognitive processing. The central nervous system regulates thinking, learning, memory, and decision-making processes. Stress response. The autonomic nervous system can activate the fight or flight, or rest and digest, response according to the body's needs. Disorders of the nervous system. Several disorders can affect the nervous system, including neurodegenerative diseases, diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's that cause neuron damage and loss of cognitive and motor functions. Multiple sclerosis, MS, an autoimmune disorder where the immune system attacks myelin, hindering nerve impulse transmission. Stroke. A disruption in blood circulation in the brain causing neuron damage and loss of associated body functions. Epilepsy. A disorder characterized by abnormal electrical activity in the brain leading to seizures. Nerve pain. Disorders such as neuropathy that can cause pain, numbness, or weakness in affected body parts. Conclusion. The nervous system is an extremely complex yet vital system in regulating and coordinating nearly all human body activities. From sensation, movement, and homeostasis regulation to cognitive processes, the nervous system plays a central role in daily life.